All right, all right. Peace to everyone out there in the internet universe. If this is your first time seeing me, my name is Shakori Shine. All right, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you guys for clicking that video and seeing what I have to say today. All right, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to name this video something like "Why is it so hard for gay men to date?" or something like that, right? Because obviously there's some challenges going on within our community, and I just want you guys to come in, sit down, and just hear me out on what I have to say. Right now, some of the things, I don't think that it's any secret to why it's so hard dating as a gay man. um I've watched a couple of the like content creator videos over the years, and everyone pretty much agrees on this first take, in that there is a lot of sex going on within the I mean, humans are having sex, period, no matter what you identify as or with, right? But within the gay community, especially gay men, there is this lack. There's this like lack of a barrier between men and sex that straight men tend to have with women, right? There's that barrier doesn't tend to be there. And so we have this over consumption and this over focus on sex and just shallow things that brings us pleasure within this community, right? So when we're going into dating, and most of the times, all of us, we have, pretty good intentions. That's what we tell ourselves, right? We're looking for somebody to be with, right? We when we go out to into dating, we're like, okay, I want to be in a relationship. I would like to be with someone, or at the very least, it'd be nice to meet someone, right? I might not be, even when we say like we're not looking for a relationship, if that person comes along that boom, 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 hits these criteria that you have, right? You'll be like, okay, let me get it together. I'm ready. I am ready to be in a relationship, or at least I'll get ready for being in the relationship, right? But to go back to my first point, if you watched a couple of my videos before, I go off, there's a three-tier basis that we have as human beings. We have our animal, we have our ego, and we have our higher selves, okay? Our animal is our body. A lot of us as gay men are trapped within our bodies. And our body, all it has is primal instincts. The three L, like fighting, the other F word, if we're gonna say fornicating, right? And I think we could put feeding up there, all right, with those types of things. Listen, the sexual energy, and it's not sex itself. It is the attachment to the desires and cravings for. All right. I'm gonna say that again. It is the attachments to the desires for sex, and I'm going to say romance and intimacy. All right, I'm going to put those on there. And it's the attachment to the cravings for those things. Your physical body is desiring and craving these things. Closeness and connection, it's natural. However, everyone knows, it's kind of common knowledge, and I just feel like, within the gay community, I don't know if we're being willfully ignorant or not, but you have a less likely chance of developing a long-term committed relationship with someone when you have sex with them within the first hour of meeting them, the first week, 2 weeks. And it's not to play games, but it is to build up not chemistry but connection with one another, so that you can have actually an emotional connection with someone before you have sex with them, right? Because that is how your sex is a part of the bonding process, all right? But we are so attached to the desires and the cravings that that really makes it difficult for us to date. within this community. Now, I've noticed a couple things. All right. So the first thing is that porn obviously is everywhere. We if you are around the same age as me, like 30s, we grew up, porn started to be on the internet. It's crazy, right? It's like everywhere, you know what I mean? And within the gay community, porn is just like, I don't know, it just seems like porn is everywhere, right? Everyone, like, I know content creators, it's no bashing or anything like that, but what it's doing is it's like conditioning your mind for sex. Like, you're staying locked within a sexual dynamic in your mind. You know what I mean? Your mind is overly sexualized. Your brain is overly sexualized. Like, that's what's happening to us within the gay community. A lot of times I know we attribute it to being men and male nature, which, yes, I'm not gonna say that isn't a thing. Male nature is your physical body, but obviously we're more than our physical bodies. And while we are on our journeys to love, um, we have to begin to realize that we are more than our bodies, right? And when you do things like consume a lot of pornography, when you do things like consistently on hookup apps and all those kinds of things, what happens is that you put yourself in your primal energy. All right, you're very primal. You're on your hunter prey, um, video vixen energy, and that energy does not translate well into commitment. Okay, because we have to remember everything is an energy, man. All right, everything is energy. And so you're consuming porn, you're jacking off every single day, you are on the hookup apps every day or every other day or whatever it is for you, and you're scrolling, you're passing time, you're doing a lot of sexual things with your mind, and it's putting your energy in this primal state of being. So sometimes you'll even meet guys, y'all, like, you're meeting people on your same vibration. Is this primal energy and this sexual energy. Sometimes you could even find yourself being like almost pigeonholed into a position of like sex only. You may want to, and I've seen this happen to plenty of guys. They want to have a relationship, but they are so sexual. They're so sexual that their energy, they might be, giving sex god, sex kitten energy, but that does not translate into commitment. That does, like, that doesn't make you a magnet for commitment minded men. All right. Even if it does, like, even if they came to you, they would be repelled by you. And this is what's happening within the gay community. We are um not cultivating ourselves enough to get out of those things. I honestly believe those things are traps. You know, Traps set by I don't know who they is, but definitely they're traps to keep us locked within our lower nature. All right. And the male lower nature is not necessarily focused on having loving, mutually beneficial, happy relationships. All right. And that's just the truth about it. So if you want to um, start to elevate yourself and shift your energy out of such a primal sexual energy, you're gonna have to start, getting yourself off of porn, and you're gonna have to get yourself off of hookup apps and get yourself out of such a like cruising sexual hunter mind. All right. And and that's not I always try to be like, that's not a judgment, because I hate to feel like I'm trying to shame something or nothing. Listen, I'm a hunter. I love sex. I love all of those things, but I know that if I want to actually be in a committed relationship, that is something that I'm like, we have to up level that about ourselves. We can't live within our primal nature and expect, because the primal nature is wild, right? That's our wild selves. But when you are looking to be in a committed relationship, there's a part of you that has to become domesticated. Okay, and I used to hate that word. I used to run. That was like a curse word for me because I love being wild. I love being free. I'm a Sagittarius. Like that's been a big part of my personality even since I was a child. But um, long-term commitment requires a certain level of domestication, which is not a bad thing, and sophistication in how our minds operate. And being overly focused on superficial things is definitely what's keeping us out of committed relationships as gay men. All right, and that kind of segues me into out of our physical body, right? The physical body, remember, that houses our instincts, and a lot of us are locked into our physical bodies, but also our minds. Um, we are using our minds against us. So many gay men are pessimists. So many gay men do not believe love is possible. So many gay men do not believe in love. They don't believe it can find them. They don't believe that it's inside of them. And I'm here to tell you whatever you believe is true. All right. Whatever you believe is true for you. That is creating your reality. All right. And believing that um relationships are impossible, or men don't want to be in a relationship and blah blah blah, all of those kinds of things, that is part of what's keeping your mind is a tool. All right. Your mind is a tool that you have to learn to control, and you have to learn to utilize for your own benefit. So you have to begin to shift your mind into bringing more faith and optimism back into your mindset when it comes to love. Yeah, maybe you had a couple bad relationship, quote unquote bad relationships, but that also goes back to the perspective that you have on the purpose of relationships. All right. The purpose of relationships is to level you up and grow. All right. That's the purpose of it. So maybe that, you've had a string of 6-month relationships. Maybe you've had, you were in a 10-year long relationship and it ended, and maybe you just don't believe in it. Listen, all of those things happen so that you can bring yourself out of your animal, number one. All right. And so that you can develop um, a stronger, I don't want to say a stronger sense of self, but a new identity of who you are. All right. Everyone knows that once you get out of a relationship and you go through the healing and the growth and all those types of things, you always learn something about yourself. You always learn something about other people. You always see how you can do better, how you can grow, how you can be the best of who you are. All right. At least that's what happens when you heal and grow out of certain patterns because of a relationship, which is what we should be doing, right? So yeah, maybe the relationships with those other guys didn't work out, but there's a lot of gay guys out here. All right. And so, just having those experiences and then completely throwing everything away, saying, oh, it'll never happen, or, no one wants to be in a relationship. Everyone just wants sex. If you want to be in a relationship, why do you think, like, why would you just automatically assume no one else wants to be in a relationship? That's a self-defeating mind and a self-fulfilling prophecy. All right. But sometimes it gets a little deeper. I remember when I was going, uh, I was young, I was like 22, and I had never had a boyfriend. And I was like, I want a boyfriend. And so, I went on my manifestation journey of manifesting my first boyfriend. And as I sat in my room, I was living in Brooklyn at the time. As I sat in my room and I was meditating, I had a flashback to my mother telling me God made Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. Right? Just that little simple thing. And it shocked me. It really hit me. And I was like, oh my God, that that little belief is keeping me from having what I want, which is a boyfriend, because it wasn't a conscious thought. It wasn't something that I believed consciously, but it was something that I believed subconsciously that was working against me when it came to me seeking out a boyfriend and someone to be in a relationship with. And I do believe that a lot of us are dealing with that, especially if we grew up in the church or some sort of religious background, or even if we just, had these negative things said to us about gay relationships and two men being together. And I do believe that that's where, when people say representation matters and things like that, because symbols, signs, symbols, and images tend to affect the subconscious mind. All right, so hopefully, now you can see on your phone that there are hundreds of thousands of gay men getting into relationships, getting married. And I was gonna say if I was you, but I am you, right? But something I like to, consume that content, consume content um, that helps you stay optimistic and helps you maintain a higher sense of faith when it comes to manifesting love and a committed relationship in your own life. Right? If everything you're watching is drama and breaking up, and you come from that and all these types of things, no, you need to read new books, you need to watch new films, you need to get in new content, new things to soak up into your mind so that it will happen. Right? That's how you know it will happen. All of the books you read, all of the therapy you do, all of the inner work, all of the, counseling and all everything adds up. Even the past relationships that quote didn't work out, they worked out how they were supposed to work out. God is always in control, right? They worked out. Everything adds up, and that's making you specially unique and suited to be in a relationship with a man who loves you and that you love as well, right? That and now that is something, I don't know. I have a natural optimism. I don't stay pessimistic for too long. Personally, I always believe in love, and I always believe that something better is always coming towards me. And when you have a mindset like that, your mind is a magnet. It attracts to you what you believe. All right. So do things, write affirmations, use affirmations, help yourself simply believe in the possibility of love. Sometimes you don't have to know where it's coming from. You don't have to do any of that, but you must at minimum believe in the possibilities. And what they say, something about a faith size of a mustard seed, moving mountains, all of those things, don't sleep on it. All right. That's some wisdom right there. And now, the next thing, this is really, this is really something that I have been guilty of, that I can see, I've observed. There is excessive ego at play within gay relationships. Remember, these are two men, right? Two male egos. And I'm going to say this, it's excessive ego and it's excessive masculine energy. Even though we're gay males and we are attracted to the same sex, masculine energy on an energy level does not get into committed relationships with masculine energy. Masculine energy gets into relationships with feminine energy. It has nothing to do with top or bottom. All right. You can be in your masculine energy and love the bottom. You can be in your feminine energy and love the top. That's neither here nor there. All right. And obviously, I hear people espouse like, oh, we all have masculine, feminine energy. We do. We do. But there's going to be someone who is predominantly utilizing their masculine energy, and there's going to be someone who is predominantly utilizing their feminine energy in order to create a relationship or a partnership with someone else. Okay, just how you have to harmonize the masculine and feminine energies within you, which is really harmonizing your head and heart, harmonizing the two hemispheres of your brain. You're going to have to harmonize who the masculine feminine energy between you and another man. All right, there's a lot of masculine energy going on within gay relationships, and it doesn't matter how effeminate a guy looks. He can wear wigs and a makeup and nails and still be operating in his masculine energy. Okay, because it has nothing to do with looks, and we all know that. You have women who are look very effeminate, and they still operate in their masculine energy, and that's just because of the way our culture has raised us. Everyone has been, feminine energy has been suppressed in everyone, in men, women, straight, gay, lesbians, it doesn't matter. Feminine energy does not necessarily um, make this economy move and shake how it does. It doesn't. Feminine energy doesn't produce workers, right? Workers are in masculine energy. That's why everyone's in their masculine energy. All right, everyone's a worker bee out here, and everyone's having to in survival mode and doing all these things to utilize their masculine energy, and so everyone is excessively masculine. And so, if you are going to have a relationship, and this is so tricky to talk about for gay men because you get a lot of pushback with this kind of stuff. Sometimes they be like, "Oh, you're being heteronormative." Listen, hetero is the norm. Number one, that's just because it's a lot of heterosexual people. It's the norm. I don't know, but you know, masculine, feminine energy. It's beyond our physical body, but it influences when we channel our masculine feminine energy. It influences our mind, and that it influences how we approach relationships, how we create relationships, how we express ourselves to one another. Okay, and when you have a lot of masculine energy within a relationship, especially gay male relationship, you will get a lot of fighting, arguing, and a lot of blaming, a lot of selfish behavior. It's your fault. You did it. Or even you did something to me, because the ego can also paint itself to be a victim, right? You did this to me. You're like this to me. Listen, that is too much ego at play. It's too much masculine energy at play. And if you feel called to utilize your feminine energy in order to create relationships, you best get on it, okay? Because it's a lot of headbutting, it's a lot of arguing, it's a lot of um people just not being able to work together. All right, like that's a big thing. Like, you're not being able to be harmonious with one another, because feminine energy is what makes harmony. Feminine energy is what is cooperative. All right. Now I'm gonna use it I'll use this in a different way, and this will probably be its own video. But when you think about masculine and feminine energy within a male, think of the masculine energy as the phallus and think of the feminine energy as the testicles. Okay. The phallic energy is traditional masculinity. We're forging ahead, we're cutting, we're executive, we are penetrating, and we won't stop until the job gets done. Whereas the testicles are more soft, sensitive. They're it's two, so they're cooperative. They're under the penis, so they are supportive. Okay, these are not necessary qualities that are only in women. These are qualities that are in men, and in order to harmonize within a relationship with each other, we're going to have to find that balance. All right. We're gonna have to be able to tap into the more cooperative, sensitive, supportive parts of ourselves, open our hearts, and influence one another from a heart space and not necessarily from the head space, which is where the ego is coming from over and over again. All right. And we're going to point fingers and we're going to blame and we're going to argue and we're going to fight. And the ego does not figure out any solutions. The ego, the mind, is only wired for our personal survival. If you're going to have a healthy relationship, you have to get control of your mind. All right. That's really what it's about. You're going to have to, that's not really taught or told to us. Healthy relationships require for you to control your mind. All right. So that we can allow the higher part of us, we all talk about souls, our soulmates, so that we can allow our souls to shine through our hearts and make decisions from there within our relationships. Okay. So I don't know. This is just on my heart. It's getting kind of late here, and this video is running. Uh, I'm mindful. I'm trying to be mindful of how long my videos are running. But you guys let me know if this video was helpful for you. Um, you know, I hope I gave you guys not only just the reasons why, okay? And the small recap is stuck in our primal energy. We need to elevate out of our primal energy by desexualizing our brains. Desexualize your brain. Write that down for yourself. Less porn, less hookup apps, more real life. Meet people, listen. Especially if you live in the West, it's easy to meet it's easy to meet guys at the at the grocery store in your everyday life. We're in America and you're in a major city, you can probably meet a gay guy by throwing a rock. All right, so don't pigeonhole yourself by being so externally focused. Okay, remember to do your inner work by, how can I say this? The opposite of being externally focused is focused internally. Be able to visualize and see a better future for yourself right here in your heart. Imagine it. All right. What you see inside, if you can believe it, you can see it, you can achieve it, right? These things sound corny, but it's true. You have to be able to believe it inside of yourself, in your heart of hearts, that love is possible, that it could happen any day. You have to keep that optimism and that belief inside of yourself. You have to be able to visualize it and see yourself in a happy, committed relationship. All right. Athletes talk about it all the time. If they can see themselves doing it, visualize themselves doing it before it happens, they're more likely to accomplish their goal. All right. It's the same thing for relationships. Make relationship your goal. Make a committed, healthy relationship your goal. All right. Cut some pictures out. Look at good content. Make vision boards. Do whatever you have to do to to imprint this vision on your subconscious mind. And then also bring a little bit more feminine of your feminine energy into relationships. All right. If you are going to, and this goes into knowledge of self, if you're going to utilize more of your feminine energy within relationships, there is a way of communicating, which is feelings. There is a way of showing up. There is a way of allowing things to unfold that will create more harmony within your relationships. And it'll make dating a lot easier. All right. I utilize my feminine energy all the time. And honestly, it it works. It works. It works. It works. Okay. I'm magnetic. If guys come to me, you know, I it just is what it is, and it has more to do with energy than anything else. Okay, and best believe that. So let me know what you guys think of this video. I'm just kind of going on and on right now, but that's why gay dating is so hard. Those three major factors right there. Um, let's just continue to work on ourselves. Let's level up, desexualize our brain, believe in the possibility of love, and lower that ego. Get control of your mind, and if you feel called to, start practicing and working on utilizing your feminine energy in order to create relationships. All right. So I hope this was helpful. Comment down below, share this with your friends. Let me know what you think. Okay, because I love having discourse in the comments. And yeah, I'll see you guys, or you guys will see me on the next video. Peace.